Caffeine and Quarantine here with your host, Pastor Aaron Sturgis. It's so awesome to see all of you here and grabbing a cup of coffee with me. Sorry, it's been a rough morning. I woke up this morning and basically it's cloud cover and raining at our house. I don't know what it's doing at your place. Let us know. But I just want to welcome everybody here. It's so great to see you. It's so great to hear from you. I want to, Linda Foster, so good morning to you. I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're able to still connect with your husband, Frank. Tell him I say hello, and his church says hello. Janet Krause, good morning from Island Lake at the cabin. Hope you got the pontoon in. Did you get the pontoon in? Bob Prock, good morning to you. Bob, Amanda, Shebenauer, good morning to you. Angela Maloney, super excited. So awesome to see you. Pam, good morning, Pam. Pam is basically the director of all operations at Central. So Pam's watching from home out by Lake Wissota as well. Valerie Heinrich, good morning to you. Ashley Smith, hello. Hope you're doing good. Clay Howard, oh, look, it's David Crowder. Yes, you know it. I'm trying to look like someone cool. So I stopped trying to look like Brad Pitt. I'm looking like David Crowder now. Karen Canfield, good morning to you. Also, it's so awesome to see you. I hope you have your caffeine, whatever that is, whether it's tea, coffee, some kind of energy drink, whatever you need. Caffeine and Quarantine is just that second cup of coffee with your pastor, because we always talk about, at Central, we always talk about the first cup of coffee has to be with Jesus. We always got to bring Jesus into our first cup of coffee. So here is our second cup of coffee and Caffeine and Quarantine. And today I'm super excited. We have Sarah LeMay on. She is basically the director of everything. She's the director of our student ministry. She's the director of our First Impressions. So basically anybody you see when you walk into our building, that first impression people is that's directed by Sarah. But then also she's the director of our groups ministry as well, and she's on. And so I want to spend some time talking to her because what she loves to do is she loves to connect with people. Man, she is such a wonderful, warm-hearted person who I imagine she'll share with you this quarantine has been crazy on her, like it is for most people, because she just needs to be with people. She loves being with people. And so what I want you to do is, as we're going along and you have a question for Sarah, or you have a thought that you want to share with Sarah and myself, please comment. Let us know, because we want this to be interaction. We want to talk to each other. We want to enjoy this together. So without any further ado, I want to introduce to you a really good friend of mine. She's awesome. I love her family. Her boys are amazing boys. Her husband's pretty cool too. He's pretty awesome as well. But everybody, give Sarah LeMay a warm welcome. Sarah, how are you doing? Can you hear me, Sarah?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we got it. Okay.
Awesome.
Perfect. And I think everybody at home can hear you. I just want to make sure the levels are right. If I need to adjust any, just let me know.
All right.
There's a lot of people watching right now. So you want
Awesome.
to shout out to everybody, because I know you miss your Central partners.
I do. I
I
miss
know.
everybody.
I
Stuck
know.
in my house. And I don't mean stuck, because I am thankful for my family, but yes,
Yeah.
I like others.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What do you have? What kind of caffeine do you have in your mug?
I have some Caribou coffee. It says, with God, all things are possible,
Amen.
and we can believe on the believe on the other side.
So-
So yes, good
so-
morning.
So have you been relying on that coffee cup a lot this quarantine?
I have, honestly. My first cup of coffee is with my devotionals. My second is
Awesome.
breakfast. But then I've switched to tea, because I've realized that I can only have so much caffeine. And then, yes, I need a little something different. So it's been interesting. I'm learning a lot about myself.
Yeah. So what's a day in a life like in the LeMay house during this quarantine? I mean, you have three boys, basically sixth grader all the way up through sophomore, right?
Yes.
And then you have your husband, who is also having to work from home, being forced to work
Yes.
from home as well. So what's a day in a life,
Yes.
a day in the life of the LeMays right now?
Well, right now, the morning is for me. I'm letting my boys sleep in. So they get that time, and I get my time, I guess I should say. And then I get Parker up. We rotate. He does his schoolwork. We have lunch. About 10 o'clock, I roll the other two out. So I have an elementary schooler, which I'm trying to homeschool, a middle schooler trying to homeschool, and then a high schooler. So I've got one in each building. And actually, it's going very well. They've fallen into a routine. So Parker's usually done with his work by noon. Zachary and Jackson, who are my two oldest, are older. My middle schooler's he's he's not as motivated as I would like, but he's doing okay. And my high schooler, they post everything online, so he's been really trying to just knock it out so that he can just be done with school by the end of May. So he's on point for that. So no, it's been good. My husband's working from home, so he goes up into we're lucky enough to have an office, so he can go up there and work. He comes out for lunch and then goes back in. And then it's easy when he comes home. He's been doing all of the cooking at night. So God bless his soul. It's been so nice. So no complaints there. But yeah, it's really been a lot of family dinners, which in my household didn't happen very often because of sports and schedules and all that. So we've been enjoying that. And then we do some family game nights, which we've got some pretty good belly laughs. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Mm-hmm.
And then on top of all this chaos, why don't you share with us what you decided to do as a family last week?
We decided to sell our house and buy a new one. So,
so on top of all, well, at least you have.
We did.
At least you have a lot of time at home right now.
Yes, we've been purging a lot. So if you know anybody who needs anything, we were your people to go to. So it's been great. Honestly, I couldn't make this up. And it's all because we were stuck in quarantine that this all happened, because we would have never had the time to do these things. A house by the lake came up, and my husband's been wanting to move for a couple of years. I'm like, I can't do it. And now, since we've got some extra time, we decided to buy that house, and then we put ours up for sale last Wednesday and accepted an offer by Saturday. So now we have to be out the end of May. So the other house is fine. We're going to do some remodeling. So we'll live at the camper this summer. It is definitely going to be an adventure for the LeMays.
Yeah, awesome. Just wanted to let you know that Angela Maloney says good morning to you, and so does Janet Krause. So, and Nikki Rydell says, way to go, Sarah. Sounds like a crazy time with all three boys. That's awesome. Yeah.
It is.
Thanks, guys.
I got no complaints.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Ashley Smith says you're moving into my parents' neighborhood. Yeah, excited to see you when we're over there visiting as well, so you get to hang out.
Oh yeah, the boys will be outside.
Ashley, yeah. So, it's just, how can I ask? Sure. We talk about our kids and our children and just everything. The seasons of life that we're missing, or that they're missing. Particularly the kids, right? I mean, for us, there's been a lot. I know for you, it was a bummer for your family. You missed a trip that you had planned for many months prior. You guys were going to head someplace warm for spring break. You were still, remind me, but I think you were still planning on doing it even the week leading up to it, because that was right before everything just kind of came down. Yep. How are your boys navigating this with school, friends, and sports? Thankfully we got to the other side of hockey before all this came about. But I know your boys are into baseball and stuff like that as well. But how are they? Right. How are they just navigating things, just mentally, emotionally? Because this is a hard time. I've seen some amazing pictures of daddy-daughter prom, where they still do prom, and because there's not going to be prom. And you and I can talk about this in a little bit about graduation and honoring our graduates. How are your boys doing with all this?
Okay. The first month, we were supposed to be out of quarantine last Friday. So I thought they were doing well, and they really are, but they're going to get restless here pretty soon, just like the rest of us. We want to get out. We want to do things. I'm thankful that I have three boys who get along. and they do share common interests. So they are outside shooting pucks or the basketball. We've got a couple bikes, so they go for bike rides. I let my boys game on there. They each have a gaming system that they game, and they stay in contact with their friends. My elementary schooler is now on Facebook Messenger. I mean, we patrol that by all means, but I had to give him something to reach out. My boys are very social, and they like people just as much as me. So just different ways. Of course, we're policing all of that, and they have certain times they can and can't do it, but just staying connected with their friends that way. And then getting out and still having the relationships with themselves. I think about when we're going to sit around the campfire and say 30 years, and they're like, Mom, remember when?
Yeah.
And then they can tell the stories about when we were in quarantine and then we bought a house and we had to stay at the camper. And I kind of focus on all the memories we're going to make and not all the ones that we can't have because of this.
Right. You made a comment, shortly, I want to say it was one of the first or second steps to the big shutdown. You know, where I think we were down to you can't gather with 100 or more people or something. And we had a staff meeting, and if you remember that week, our leadership staff meetings were like probably once every day because things kept changing with the news cycle. And you made a comment that struck with me, and I still use that comment a lot. And you said something along the lines of, you know, it just stinks because it feels like everything is being taken away from us and we don't have a choice. We don't even have a say in all that. How's that been now? We're kind of in this new, hopefully temporary normal. How are you navigating this as a mother, as a spouse, as somebody who also has her career as on the leadership team at Central Lutheran? How are you just mentally navigating all this now, especially because that really struck a chord with me, because I'm like, you know what, you're right. Things are literally being taken away from us. We can't gather with people we want to gather with, and that's taken, so how are you navigating that now?
Well, it revolves around the choice, the word choice. Like, they've taken everything away from us and we don't have a choice. And if you think about it, you do have a choice. We do have choices. We can't do the things we normally could. So to step back and change your mindset of not so much of what we can't be doing, but what is this giving us to do? Like, what can we be doing? And it kind of frustrates me with the not doing this, not doing that. But again, as a whole, for our community, for our country, for whatever, you do things that, it is to keep you safe, and not only us, but those that are in the higher risk populations. We stay home. We've limited the people we go out with, or have contact with. Even with buying this house and everything, there was a ton of disinfectant wipes. We left all the lights on. There's just a lot of steps that people have been taking to make sure that everyone is safe. And I appreciate that. So then just to go back and do, okay, it's not about what we can't be doing, but what we can be doing, and just changing the mindset of, I struggle with that, but looking at it from a different perspective, and like I said, with my boys and putting them on the path of what we can't do, because we could sit around and be very frustrated all day, but we just focus more on what we can do and the memories we are making that we would have never done. Like, we would have never bought a house. So it took some right choices away, but it's just changing your mindset, really.
You never would, those memories where you now have your kids, pictures of your kids laying on the couch watching worship with you and worshiping with you online and all that stuff. And I love, Janet. I think a lot of us, everybody watching would agree with Janet, who says, I love your attitude about all this, Sarah. Absolutely. It's been great. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
Your, as I mentioned, lead into the show, you're the director of student ministry, you're the director of First Impressions, and you are the director of our group ministry. Let's start with director of student ministry. What are we trying to do as a church right now when it comes to our, we're focused on our online experience with
Mm-hmm.
with everybody on Sundays. We have our Caffeine in Quarantine. We have our noon prayer and worship. So why don't you highlight what we're doing and where we're moving with student ministry, children's ministry a little bit here?
Sure, sure. Okay. Well, right now, Orange, who we use for our curriculum, has sent out videos and lessons, activities for everybody to do each week. I send them out in emails to the central kids SGLs, who in turn send them out to their parents. I do the same thing with the high schoolers. I get their lessons and I send them out to their SGLs, and in turn they send them out to their parents. I like this just because it keeps us connected. Again, about this whole connectivity or whatever, if that's even a word, but I just want to keep us connected. I could send it out to everybody, yes, but me sending it out to 250 parents isn't the connection that I need. So I send it out to the SGL so that they can connect directly with their parents, so they have that specific connection. Orange has been great that way, letting us use videos and activities like that. We're working on a family ministry page, Facebook, and through our website. It's not quite done yet. It'll be like a one-stop family ministry. This is what you're looking for, and have all the links and everything in there. Clay has been helping with that. It's been amazing. He's doing a great job. I did, before we all left, myself and Lynette Severson put together some activity bags with the lessons that we had for Orange for our central kids. They are in the entryway of Building B, which is open from 9 to 11. The doors are open. You can go in. There's 3 different boxes. One is for preschool, one is for K through 2, and then 3 through 5. It had all the lessons for the rest of March that we had left, and then all of April. Being that they're dated, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like, you can still go in. There's 6 weeks of lessons in there. I mean, if you don't want to sit in front of the computer or do any of that stuff with your children, if you just want to do some hands-on, each one has an activity, and all the supplies that you need for that activity are actually in the bags as well. So it's a one-stop and go. And then for our high schoolers, I've been sending out the videos and stuff like that, and they've been doing Zoom meetings, Google Hangouts, Google Meetings. They've been chatting that way. There are a couple that don't have the internet capability of doing video, so they have like an app that they've been talking back and forth, or they just do the audio. So they've been staying connected, and that's been amazing. I've sat in on a couple of those, and that, I'm not gonna lie, just warms my heart to see all those faces again. I was like, oh, there you are. It's like, I love it, staying connected with them, and how they're staying connected with their SGL. So trying to just push that out every week to connect with my SGL, so that they know that I'm still here for them as well. Because that, again, I'm a people person, and not to be able to have the connection with the students, the SGLs, like, it's a big deal. So I've gotten a lot of response back from my SGLs, and I love it. And I just let them know that I'm here for them whenever they need me. So
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. And I think two things you highlighted is just how important small group leaders are at Central. And you're right, it's really helping the small group leaders to continue to connect with the kids, the students, and the parents as well. But you and I, we as a team, we kind of made a strategic decision when all this started, and we knew that we weren't going to be able to physically meet face to face. And that decision really came out of what you and I were experiencing as parents, right? Where schools closed, and we knew that we will not be meeting in the near future, indefinitely, really, as a church. But yet you and I were completely, as parents, overwhelmed, right? I mean, my kids came home, the kiddos came home from school after that last day of school, and we had backpacks full of curriculum for 2-3 weeks, and we were just like, and so you and I said, no, we don't want to add more to this anxious time, and so we made that strategic decision not to really do a whole lot just yet, right? But now what I really want to emphasize is between you and Clay. Clay really monitors and builds our webpage and takes care of our webpage. You've done a phenomenal job with this webpage, with the page for family ministry, and I really encourage everybody who's watching just to share. We're still putting it together. It's not completely complete, but I will be able to go there. It's a landing page where I can click on what age my child is in, look at all the content that I can be working with them at home, watch videos with them at home, these Christian videos from Orange. It's awesome. It is phenomenal. And so we hope everybody who's watching will take that in consideration and use that as a source. Absolutely. Tiffany Bunacancho just wants to say you're the best, by the way.
Oh, thanks, Tiffany.
Yeah. Terry Hudson. Yeah, we're glad that we could brighten your day, Terry. That you get to see our faces. John Erickson. Good morning to you. I think he and Anna are still down in Phoenix. I think.
Wow.
Which is a good place to be as well. So, the moral of the story, Sarah, things are still happening. I mean,
yes.
We got the kids students still meeting online with their SGLs. You're behind the scenes putting content out, weekly content, and we don't think we're going to stop, right?
No.
For as long as this quarantine ends or continues on, we're going to continue on. VBS, we're kind of up in the air right now, right?
I know. What do we do?
Might be VBS in a box. Might be VBS virtually. You know,
VBS live.
VBS live.
I know.
That'd be awesome.
Look at all these things we're learning.
I know, and being forced to do, right? Talk about just let's get to our seniors. You know, we really what is Central's plan for our seniors as far? I know we just have some initial conversations with the graduating seniors and so forth, but just highlight the why behind what we're going to do, what it is we're going to do.
We just need to recognize them. We need to let them know how proud we are of their accomplishments so far. We want to send them off on the right foot. We want them to know that we're here to support them. They're going through a crazy time right now too. So for them to be able to reach out to either their SGL, myself, or yourself, and just be like, oh, this is crazy. And just to know that we are a safe place for them to vent or just let us know how they're feeling, and for us to support them in all of that. And then for graduation is just recognizing, like I said, their accomplishments, where they're headed, and, send them off with all of the good wishes and the blessings that we can. Some resources that they can use when they're not around their family and possibly friends, depending on where they're headed. And just something that says we're here for you when you need us. Yeah,
and that the three of us, Brittany is the graduating seniors SGL. She's been with them for numerous years now. You and myself and Clay with what we're going to do as far as tech-wise in that worship service. We're all kind of working on it. It's my heart just goes out to them. This is, somebody told me too that this graduating class was also the class that was born the year 9/11 happened.
9/11.
And now this is their this is their senior experience. And so I choose to really focus on the positive. So I think this graduating class this year, they're bound to do some amazing things in the world as adults. Just because I think it's a unique time to be a graduating senior.
As seniors, they're learning how to change their mindsets already. Like some of us didn't, have any of that opportunities or didn't have to until we were older. So it's not easier for them. It's never easy to change your mindset.
Right.
But they just have this opportunity to to turn it around, to be like, wow, look at all the things I got to do as opposed to the things I can't.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And first impressions, we haven't really talked about that much, but I'm excited for when we do get back, and what that looks like. But you and I are going to have some work cut out for us to figure out, okay, what does this look like when we finally get back? and how does that affect our first impressions?
Yes.
Which but yeah, I'll tell you what. Anybody watching right now, if you are on our online experience on Wednesdays, or excuse me, on Sunday mornings, you know Sarah because she is modeling first impressions because she's just typing away, welcoming everybody in our comment room, in our guest room via Facebook Live and YouTube. So it's been awesome. And then groups. Groups is kind of the same way. They're just naturally happening when they still happen, but we're kind of gauging that to see, hey, do we even want to take our groups online as well and try to do groups? We're just trying to all gauge that because right now everything in our life has gone online.
Yes, it has.
And there's been days.
It totally has.
Yes, and there's been days where I literally had to turn my phone off to, because Facebook
and
said,
please do.
Yeah,
please do.
Yeah, right.
And everybody else for that matter too. As much as we like to stay connected with the outside world, and this is our only way, shut it off.
Yeah.
And just look at those around you, or spend some more time in the Word. Like pull out your Bible or your devotional and just be like, okay, like it's time to focus on me and our society, how we got so busy and all of that. We forget to do that. So you have that time now, and just to take that time and focus on you too as well. So don't forget that, everybody. Focus on you too.
Focus on you. Amen. Amen. Debbie Smith just wants to know. It's so nice to know you're the face that's attached to all the emails she's getting. So there you go. That's awesome. There you go. Now you have a face. You know where it's coming from.
This is my face.
Okay. Final thought. Non-work related or anything.
Sure.
What is Sarah LeMay binge watching on Netflix?
Sarah LeMay does not watch.
Oh, yeah.
I know, right?
Because
my husband has the remote, so I watch whatever he's watching. So and that's totally fine with me.
Yeah,
I'm good. Whatever he's watching, I watch. It's our time to just hang out and shut down.
So are you reading a good book? What do you do? What does Sarah LeMay do for her me time?
That is a good question. I like to do crossword puzzles. So I sit down and do a crossword puzzle while my husband's watching TV, or my devotionals in the morning. That's for me too. I'm reading a book called Growing With, but that's it's a work related book. I also read some life coaching books. I'm taking classes to be a life coach as well. So when I'm doing that, then I focus on that. And that has been amazing. I love that. I love the new knowledge that comes with that as well. So. Yeah.
Sarah, it's been awesome. It's been awesome. And Angela Maloney says Zoom with friends. Yeah, I've seen tons of Hangout with friends.
Yeah.
We've even done it as well. And there's some apps up there too. So yeah. Well, Sarah, thank you so much for joining us. You are awesome, and we just pray that God continues to work through you, because we're all seeing God working through you, and we hope that this transition into a new home goes smoothly. I would offer my moving skills and muscles, but guess what? Quarantine can't do it. Sorry.
No, I know, right? I know it's a hard one.
Well, you take care of yourself. Miss seeing your face to face. We'll get there soon, but I'll see you at our team leadership meeting tomorrow morning. All right?
All right, sounds awesome. Thanks, Aaron.
Yep, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, there you go. That is Sarah LeMay, and she's got an infectious personality. I just love hanging out with Sarah and what she brings. You know what? Thank you guys. Thanks everybody for joining us. Debbie, Janet, Angela. Thank you so much. We enjoyed this as well. We're going to be back on Wednesday again for quarantine, for Caffeine and Quarantine at 8:30 in the morning. Right now, I have a special guest that's lined up to do this, and he will join us if it's raining, because then he can't turkey hunt. But if he can turkey hunt, then we're gonna have to come up with Plan B. So I'm gonna leave you hanging, and you need to come at 8:30 on Wednesday. But then also just a reminder, join Tiffany and I as we have prayer and worship at noon on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You can find it right here at Facebook Live. as well. So I hope all of you are doing well. Stay safe. We love you. I love you. And you take care of yourself and continue to be the light amidst all of this. Have a wonderful day, and we will talk to you on Wednesday.